Everything was going fine. She's out playing on the swing set with Dad and would just start to randomly vomit.
Kyle, our little one, had been getting a lot of bruises. You would have never known anything was wrong with the boy except for the bruising. So finally we took him to the doctor, which then sent us to the emergency room on an extremely busy night to a diagnosis at 5 o'clock in the morning of acute promyelocytic leukemia. We heard those words from the head of the ER that you never want to hear. I'm sorry, I have to tell you, it's cancer. So we were really surprised and shocked and just dumbfounded at, this cannot be happening to us. How can this be happening to us? So after that, we went on for, Kyle was admitted to the hospital for 40 days, and our life was turned upside down. It was not anything that you would ever expect. It was surreal, is the only way that I can really explain it, that you are living this life that you never thought you would have to live, that you never ever expected in your wildest dreams to have to be going through this. So it not only just took a toll on Kyle, obviously, and David and I, it was very challenging, but also for Carl. It was hard. He was 4. He had no idea what was going on, especially when his mom and his brother weren't home all the time.
Well, you know, Carl couldn't go to the hospital, wasn't allowed, so he's asking me why Kim and Kyle don't live here anymore, why they live in a hospital. That's pretty hard to explain to a boy that young.
Yeah, he also said that he'd like to be a whole family again, and that he was tired of being a half family.
Well, there's a playground just down the street that we had taken Kyle to, and very careful, you've got the mask on, right, the gloves on, and he was playing, but I think it was 3 days later. He was back in the hospital with some rotavirus or some type of thing, back in emergency, and ultimately what we got was a new play set with vinyl coating, if you will, so that you could wipe it down, clean it, sanitize it for him to play on, and even the cover underneath is a ground rubber that has a antibacterial type of coating on it that we ordered, and a friend of ours went and got it for us and helped us put it in. So something that simple that you wouldn't think about, a play set.
He had said, well, you know, everything looks fine, everything's checking out fine, let's go ahead and do an ultrasound of the abdomen just to see, maybe there's something going on there. We never made it to the ultrasound. She woke up one night about 12 o'clock screaming, my head, deep inside my head. I'm normally the one that is very calm, handles it all, and he is normally the one that panics. I turned around to him and turned away from Nicole and said, something's wrong with my child and I lost it. We took her down to St. Joe's in Pontiac there. They did blood tests and her blood was changing every 8 hours. Nothing was ever the same. So they didn't really know what it was. They suspected it was parvo, sent us down to Children's. Children's thought it was parvo as well. They sent the blood out to the Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic came back inconclusive, so they sent us home to come back the next morning on September 11, 2008 for a bone marrow transplant, and she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at 4 years old. She had just turned 4. I mean, she went through treatment, rang the bell, everything was great. Jim was traveling at the time. He was in New York. Nicole was with my parents because I was in the hospital with a blood clot in my heart and in my lung. The next day, Dr. Bombani called and said, I'm sorry, but our baby is sick again. At that point, I knew I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere. I had to continue on fighting for my child. So Dr. Bombani asked me when I would be out of the hospital. And I told her, and she said, okay, great, the 27th, we'll see you down here, we'll start treatment. I left Beaumont Hospital, went home, washed my clothes, put them in a suitcase, picked up my daughter, and we went back down to start this all over again. Nicole had relapsed. that we had told her that after her treatments were done and we were able to get another dog. We had previously had an 11-year-old Newfoundland. Nicole wasn't able to come home to any plants, animals, flowers, fresh fruits, nothing. It was like being in a bubble. And with Jake being old and sick and having this staph infection, we realized that we had to put Jake down. Coda is certainly a new beginning. Coda has brought a lot of life in this house. Coda brings hope to us. Coda makes Nicole happy, and that's what we wanted.
We have met so many other families that we can talk to, and we've actually met families from around the country when we have gone to other events supported by the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So getting to know those families and being able to talk about something, cancer seems common, but it's really not.
We were granted our miracle. And by the research that the Leukemia Lymphoma Society does, that's the one hope that we held on to, that more children will get this miracle and more of them will be here to make a name instead of be in the sky and become a star.
The treatment that he went through is fairly new in cancer treatment, right? And without research dollars and people supporting that and bringing that forward, that just wouldn't have been there as an option for us. And without the support of the people and programs through LLS, I frankly don't know how I would have done it.
And we just think every day that it's a miracle that she's here.
You know, you think it's corny when people say, oh, make every day count on it. But when you start living every day like it counts, that's really the difference, right?
All I can say is thank you.
Someday is today.
Wow.